Big, loud, boisterous, a watch that needs space for its imposing dimensions and a square stance, paying tribute to an icon, a watch heritage that carried motor racing through the 20th all the way to the 21st century. Whatever this Megir lacks in terms of premium components, it makes up in terms of character. The price tag of $13 insinuates quite a few shortcuts, and that is so, yet for the dosh we are getting a dual pattern dial, loomed hands, 30 meters of water resistance, awesome legibility due to a high contrast dial setup, and shockingly clear hardlex crystal. And of course, it is a chronograph movement. Quite an interesting watch, this one. For $13 we are getting plenty. Now of course that's plenty of cons as well as plenty of pros, so we need to talk about these things in detail. The link to the listing of this watch is in the description below the video, so do check it out if you're after a sharp price. And now let's dive in and talk about the Megir in detail. Let's do it. With regards to the dimensions, we get a case width of 43.3 millimeters, a lug-to-lug length of 52.5, a height of 11.3, a lug width of 24 millimeters, and a weight of 85 grams. Square watches always look larger than their circular counterparts, hence the significant case width of 43 millimeters is quite large, and it looks large. As you can see on my 6.5-inch wrist, there are some minor overhangs, yet only at close inspection can you notice it. The 24mm wide strap does a super job of disguising these nuances. Another important point to mention is that the case is made from a zinc alloy, but that is really quite expected at this price point. Looking at the profile, we see tall and flat flanks, stretching the full 43mm on every of the four sides. The polished look is okay, not overly chromy, so no too much unnecessary bling. The corners have been smoothed all over, even the transitions to the top of the case are via well-rounded bevels. On the top side, the case is brushed in a coarse and vertical fashion, muting and downplaying light play and reflections. The lugs are short and stout, falling off downwards aggressively, yet the empty space between the leatherette strap and the flanks indicate that the lug-to-lug length could have been further reduced. Considering it's now 52.5 millimeters, I think it could easily go down to 47-48 millimeters. On the rear end, we have a stainless steel snapback. On the right of the case sits the larger than average push-pull crown, flanked by outwards facing chrono pushes, also polished, complementing the overall look. The strap looks better than it feels, a dark blue outer face mimicking leather grain with a red stitch. A real positive here are the perforations that should ventilate your wrist. The impressive pin buckle is actually signed on the tip, shaming some more premium brands that don't sign their buckles. Still, the feel is rather carbody of the strap, meaning that it won't last a distance like a genuine leather strap. So if you are serious about buying this watch, considering it costs $13, not much, go out and actually spend $5 and get yourself a Cowhide or genuine leather strap, maybe even a suede leather strap. That's what you need, because I think with suede it will downplay some of the largeness on this watch and actually soften down the visual appearance. Yeah, so that will work, but what you'll need to do is actually swap out and transfer over the pin buckle, because it is actually signed. That is super cool. On a watch that costs $13, we get a signed buckle. That's awesome. Thank you, Megir. With regards to the crystal, a flat slab of hardlex glass covers the large open dial. The square contour surrounds a circular midsection with a coarse and grainy texture. Before we go on, let's touch on the tachymeter scale and the chronograph function. Considering the seconds pointer is not a chrono hand, the tachymeter scale is a red herring, a decoration, no more. At 6 o'clock, we have the small seconds counter, operated by the chrono pushers. At 9 o'clock, a 0 to 60 minutes counter, and at 3 o'clock is the 24-hour subdial. The 3 and 9 o'clock subdials are square cutouts with a white backdrop. That does look great. Considering they are recessed, the multi-level effect is very distinct and pronounced. The 12 o'clock index baton is orange, complementing the orange seconds hand. I do like the date window is provided at 6 o'clock as well, making this a very functional and practical daily beater. Now if we do a lume test, uninspiring at best, that's what I can say. Only the hands are luminous, and frankly, the brightness is not very high, and the longevity is very short-lived. In regards to the movement, well, there were no references on the listing. I didn't pop the back, so I would assume that this is a Chinese quartz, because what else can we get for $13 for the whole thing? So yeah, most likely you will need a battery replacement every 2 years or so, but considering it's a daily beater watch, very simple, I wouldn't fuss about it too much. It's quartz, it's dependable, it's accurate. That's it. Now, $13 for this watch. I hope you did find this review useful, because I haven't seen many reviews about this watch, and I think it does look great, and there are over 10,000 sales on AliExpress. So things had to be said about this watch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.